What's up, my Mind Your Money business folks? It's me yet again with another video on today's stock market news. As always, hopefully you are in the market and not trying to time the market because that is simply impossible to do. So, what happened today? So it says Dow jumps, NASDAQ snaps 6-day win streak as Walmart preview tariff-fueled price hikes. So was the market affected by Walmart? I don't know. So let's see what happened today. So it says U.S. stocks fluctuated on Thursday as investors weighed Walmart's tariff-clouded earnings and digested retail sales and inflation data for further clues to the health of the economy. Interesting. So it says the S&P 500 rose 0.4%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained more than 0.6%. And the NASDAQ Composite fell 0.2%, breaking a 6-day win streak for the tech-heavy index, right? So we took a little loss today. So markets are on watch for the next catalyst now that U.S.-China trade truce euphoria has faded. On Thursday, in the latest development, President Trump said India has offered to literally charge us no tariffs on U.S. goods to help clinch a trade deal. That's interesting, right? But corporate statements and economic data continued painting a slightly different reality. In its quarterly results, Walmart said its prices will rise as it can't avoid passing on the high cost of tariffs to customers. Walmart shares fell less than 1% on the day. So meanwhile, retail sales slowed sharply in April, barely rising in a sharp reversal from American consumers' pre-tariff spending burst in March. But wholesale inflation unexpectedly slowed last month, even as many of Trump's tariffs began coming into effect. The producer price index fell 0.5% in April and rose at a 2.4% annual clip. The consumer price index update this week showed inflation pressures easing for 4-year lows, which is a good thing, right? So the Federal Reserve policymakers have stressed that they are watching for incoming data to provide a clearer picture of the state of the economy. So they're just looking, again, data. What happened today in the market is not because companies are doing bad when we've had 6 straight days of wins. It's just investors, the big time investors, not us retail investors, are looking at how companies may or may not be affected by these tariffs, like Walmart. Walmart is being used as an example for how things flow today in the market. So either way, Fed Chair Jerome Powell on Thursday again warned of broad economic uncertainty, saying the U.S. economy may be entering a period with more frequent supply shocks and volatile inflation. That is true. That is true. If you're charging a lot of money to have goods shipped, if countries can't ship certain goods that they normally ship, supply stocks may be an issue. Like if no agreement can be made and a company, well, not a company, but a country chooses not to ship any goods to the United States, how will that affect the economy? How will that affect stores that normally carry these supplies? If that makes any sense, right? I don't know. I honestly don't know. So let's get back into this. So meanwhile, oil tumbled after Trump said the U.S. is close to maybe doing a deal with Iran over its nuclear program. Okay. It also says here, the defensive sector leads the S&P 500 higher For the first time in several sessions, tech stocks weren't among the major market leaders on Thursday. Instead, a defensive slant helped the S&P 500 finish in the green. Utilities and consumer staples led the sector action within the benchmark index, both rising over 2%. So on a single stock basis, Dollar General popped more than 6%, while the Deere and Company stock rose almost 4%. Also, it says here Meta shares fell more than 2%, as the Wall Street Journal reported the tech giant will be delaying the rollout of a flagship AI model. The journal reported that company engineers are struggling to significantly improve the capabilities of its behemoth large language model, leading to staff questions about whether improvements over prior versions are significant enough to justify public release. That's interesting. Also, it says Amazon stock sank after latest job cuts. Amazon stock sank as much as 3.6% following news Wednesday that the tech giant cut jobs in its devices and services division. Shares paired losses later in the trading sessions and were down 2.4% Thursday afternoon. Yeah, Amazon cut 100 jobs in the division. The company has laid off 27,000 employees. Damn. Since the start of 2022, according to CNBC. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's all I'm going to cover today. So let's see what happened to certain stocks. Tesla. What happened with Tesla today? No, that's not right. Refresh. So Tesla lost $4.86 today, closing out at $342.86. Yeah. My S&P 500 ETF SPLG gained 34 cents today, closing out at $69.45. So, like the article was also saying, the S&P 500 did good today. The NASDAQ is what was affected. And the NASDAQ carries a lot of information technology stocks. So my information technology ETF, FTEC, lost 7 cents today, closing out at $183.11. NVIDIA, my AI chip leader, lost 51 cents today, closing out at $134.83. Not a terrible loss. There are no bad news about NVIDIA. NVIDIA is still doing good things as a company that I'm aware of. And through my research, I haven't found anything negative about the company. Palantir. Palantir took a loss of $2.06 today, closing out at $128.12. No bad news on Palantir. Broadcom. Broadcom gained 52 cents today, closing out at $232.64. Not bad. I would take that small gain. And that's pretty much it. That's all I have to cover today. Yeah, I'm off work, so I'm relaxed. I'm about to actually go out and do a little exercise while it's still early morning here. So yeah. Hopefully you guys have a blessed day, have a blessed weekend. It's my Friday. As always, lower your debt to income ratio, start living below your means, and get out of debt. Get out of consumer debt, get out of personal loan debt, get out of car loan debt, get out of student loan debt, get out of credit card debt. Get out of all forms of debt and set yourself up. Create that emergency fund. Create a solid foundation for you and your family. Set up your kids for college. Start their 529 college plan way ahead of time, so they don't have to apply for these business loans or these these loans that we call, I said business loan, but these student loans that hover over people for 50 or more years before they actually pay them off. Set them up for failure. Set them up for success and do the same for you. Start investing into assets like stocks, real estate, land, things that appreciate in value, not things that depreciate in value, like clothing, cars, trips. You're not going to get your money back, right? The majority of us. So yeah, start doing that. And yeah, that's it. Disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I pretending to be one. So please consult with a financial advisor before you invest any of your hard-earned money. As always, take care of yourself, take care of your health, and have a great day. Peace!